Hello, everybody. We are in week 3, and this week we will be covering Chapter 2, Biological Psychology. So here is your to-do list for the week. I really want to just draw your attention first to the mandatory intro psych assessment. I've been posting this over the last couple weeks. I just want to make sure that everyone has done it. The due date is the 12th, so you have to have it completed by Friday. And if you don't have it done by then, you're going to get a 10-point grade deduction, and I'd really hate to do that to anybody. So there's no reason why you can't do this. It's a very quick assessment. The link is here. Follow it all the way to the end, and you should be good to go. I will be getting a list on Saturday from Dr. Camilleri of all the students who completed it. And if you're not on the list, you'll be getting an email from me. So just make sure that you do that. Again, this assessment has nothing to do with your grade. It is something that every intro psych student does for our department purposes only. And so it does not affect your grade. However, you have to complete it. So that's the first and foremost thing I need you to do this week if you haven't done it already. The next thing after that is you want to take a look at the objectives that go along with the chapter. You can listen here if you would like a podcast overview of the objectives where I kind of go in detail about each concept and piece of material that's going to be included in the chapter. So these objectives are just a really nice overview of what you're going to be learning in the chapter. And so I recommend looking over these objectives before you start reading, and then have them next to you as you're reading for a guide to key points that you should be getting throughout the reading. Here are your lecture slides for Chapter 2. And again, if you look at those lecture slides in presenter mode, you're going to be able to see how they're interactive. There's things that you can click on, links and such, and so you'll want to do it in that presenter mode. I've also included a PDF of Chapter 2, as well as the Hawk reading this week, and this will be the last week that I do that, just to cover bases for anyone who had a slight delay on getting your textbooks. You should have them by now, so this is the last time I'll be posting a PDF of the chapters. So there those are. The chapter reading, along with the Hawk reading, which is on the topic of biological psychology. Specifically, it's called More Experience Equals Bigger Brain. The readings are what drives the discussion. Okay, so you guys had your first discussion post last week. I hope that everybody looked at any feedback that I had for you for those posts. If you haven't yet, you'll want to do that before you start in on this discussion, because the feedback on your posts is what's going to help you to know if you're doing anything wrong or need to improve in any areas. You can do that for this week's discussion. Okay, so go back into your grade book, My Grades, and take a look at any feedback I gave you on last week's discussion. But for this week, you want to have read Chapter 2 and have read this Hawk reading before you even attempt the discussion. And ultimately, you want to have done the videos too. So the 2 videos are here. I have one on the chemical mind, which is all about the chemical transactions that take place within our body, in the nervous system, in the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, neural communication via neurotransmitters. So you get into detail about the neuron and how it transmits impulses, and those impulses are basically messages that go out to the body that tell us what to do. So you're going to watch this video, and then you're also going to watch Getting to Know Your Brain, which is more on just parts of the brain, sort of like the anatomy of the brain, what areas of the brain are responsible for what, and all of that. So these are great sort of recap videos. So I would actually do the readings before you watch the videos. Make sure that you've read through the chapter and then go ahead and watch the video, because the video will help spark some of what you read already, and hopefully help solidify that material for you. So once you've done that, you've read the chapter and the reading, and you've watched the videos, then you're going to be ready to do your discussion. And so your discussion post this week is really just looking at the Hawk reading. You're going to be introduced to a guy named Rosenzweig, who did research on brain development, and he used rats as his subjects to look at how experience and environment affected their brain development. And you're going to read through the Hawk reading, and it sets it up for you so that it tells you, you know, what was the purpose of Rosenzweig's research, what were his hypotheses, what did he think was going to happen, you know, so he moves in a stepwise manner, walking you through all of that. And then, you know, what was his methodology, how did he go about conducting his study, and then what happened, the results, and what did he think about the results? Did he expect what he found? Did he not expect what he found? Was there anything surprising? And then basically, you know, what are his conclusions? Like, why is that research important? What sorts of applied aspects does it have for learning? So research is great, but we don't just do it in a bubble. We do it so that it can be applied to life and understanding how things work, or why things happen the way that they do. So ultimately, you should come away from the Hawk reading having a good understanding of his study and what kinds of research questions his study answered. And ethically, we can't do the same experiment that Rosenzweig did on human subjects. He used rats. We can't do what he did with human subjects for obvious reasons. Once you read through his study, you'll know why. So because that's the case, how then do we study human subjects when it comes to their brain? If we want to know, you know, what the effects of experience are on a person's brain, how would we study that? What kinds of things would we look at in the brain? What kinds of conclusions would we want to draw? You might want to go back to chapter 1 that you just read last week and look at some of the research methods in psychology to inform how you would study this in a scientific way. So basically what I'm asking you to do is create for me a little mini study. Tell me how you would study people, their experiences, and their brains, to know what kinds of effects experience has on the brain. And I'll give you a big hint. You want to make sure you understand what kinds of tests can we run on the brain. That's in chapter 2. It talks all about different imaging techniques and processes that we use for studying the brain. Those would be your outcome measures, right? So here again, it's important to understand, if you're going to do an experiment, you want to see the effects of experience on the brain. You would want to have dependent variables, independent variables. So understanding what those are is important. And what's the outcome? You know, what are you hoping to find? Have a strong hypothesis and a way of studying that hypothesis, a methodology. So this might require you to go back into chapter 1 where it talks about research methods and kind of make sure you understand the various types of methodology in research. You know, we have observational studies, we have correlational studies, we have experimental studies. How do those all differ? What kinds of questions can you answer with each of those types of design? So not every research design can answer every question, right? You want to make sure you understand what types of designs would get to causal conclusions, like, X causes Y, versus what kinds of methodology gives you associations. Well, this is related to this, X is related to Y, but we don't know if X causes Y. So make sure that you understand all of that. This is a great way of reviewing a little bit of that material from chapter 1, because this week you not only have a quiz on chapter 2, but you have your first test. And your first test is going to cover chapters 1 and 2. So your quiz will be due Friday, and then your exam will be due Sunday. The exam covers chapters 1 and 2. Okay, so I think that covers all of that. Again, I am open for office hours via Zoom. If you have any questions, just please let me know via email. If you'd like to schedule a Zoom to talk about anything, I'd be happy to do that with you.